So I've had a bit of time to think about the channel lately, and I wanted to share some thoughts with you guys. I started the channel initially as a Bannerlord guide channel only. Then I added some Let's Plays. I started adding more editing as time went on, made things a little bit more sophisticated. I began sprinkling in videos from different games like Kingdom Come, Deliverance, Crusader Kings 3, Project Zomboid, but I didn't really go too hard on those. And then eventually I split the channel into three different channels. I've got a guides channel, a let's play, and a heavily edited video channel. So that setup I think is actually really, really nice. I think it's worked out really well. But the problem is the way that I make content actually doesn't feed those three channels properly. And so I've really given it some thought on how I want to tweak things so that I can actually make videos for all three efficiently and still make top quality videos for everybody. So here's kind of what I've come up with. First and foremost, I'm still going to be covering Bannerlord, but it's not going to be the main focus of the channel. I've probably made 90% of my videos on Bannerlord. Moving forward, that is definitely not going to be the case. I plan to cover 4 to 6 games per year. I'm definitely the type that I would rather learn everything I can about 1 or 2 games rather than playing 20 or 30 games in a year and just kind of having a surface level knowledge. I would much rather take everything apart, learn everything I can, master it, and then just do stupid challenges. Here's how I see things moving forward. As I pick up a new game that I know nothing about, I'd like to start off with a Let's Play where I just learn the game from scratch, kind of figure things out as I go. That'll be on the Let's Play channel. Then I will do another Let's Play, but it'll be more targeted. It'll be more geared towards learning as much as I can about the game and really pushing the limits. An example of this, I've done two very similar actually, one for Project Zomboid and one for Kingdom Come Deliverance. I did one where I had to max out all the skills. Actually, I did that in both. And again, it's not the most exciting Let's Play, but you really learn a lot. You can make a lot of guides from it. You get a lot of information, and all that information can be used to, for my next point, attempt insanely difficult challenge runs. So all of this leads up to a challenge run video. Everything feeds that. So the main focus of all three channels is to feed doing those crazy challenge videos. Now, what comes of that is several Let's Plays for each one. We're also going to get a lot of guides. As I'm doing these videos where I learn everything I can about the game, I'm going to be taking that Let's Play content and turning that into guide content. As I'm going through, I'm taking notes, I'm making clips and stuff so that I can pull it out and make guides from it. As opposed to what I was doing before is I would sit down and I would specifically record and test only for a guide. Whereas now I'm doing a video for a Let's Play. I'll use that same video and get guide content out of it. And I'll also use that same video and get a heavily edited challenge video out of it. So I'm trying to be more efficient with my time, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So you're still going to be getting Let's Plays if you watch that stuff. Most people don't. You're still going to be getting a ton of in-depth guides. That's not going to change. I would love to make like an all-encompassing guide for each game that I cover. I'd like to do like what I did with Bannerlord, but maybe a little bit more concise. I feel like Bannerlord, I maybe went off the deep end a little bit. I think I would probably pull that back a little bit and just cover everything that I can and then lump those all into one big video. So instead of only having the 10-minute tutorials, we'll have the 10-minute tutorials, but then we'll also have one video in the end where I put it all into one video with timestamps so it's easy to find. It'll be like a 2 or 3 hour video. I think something like that would be kind of cool. So I'm going to try that out. And then again, the main goal is to get these heavily edited videos on very difficult challenges. So I know that was kind of a lot of information and a little bit rambly, but let me recap that. So every game that I cover is going to have several Let's Plays posted for it. The guides will come from the Let's Plays, as well as some testing and practice runs that I do, depending on what's needed to accomplish the challenge. I'm going to get heavily edited videos, those videos that take me over 100 hours worth of editing to do, and those will come from the challenge runs. The Let's Play channel is going to be absolutely stuffed with content all the time. The Guides channel will have bursts of content depending on how quickly I can get through the editing of those videos. So maybe 1 week we'll get 5 guides released back to back, and then maybe nothing for 2 or 3 weeks. It's just kind of how it is. I may try to look to optimize that in the future, but for now, I think that's probably how it's going to work. But like I said, we'll see. And then the heavily edited channel is going to have very infrequent content. It's probably going to be 1 per month at most, just because of how much work goes into those. I'll give you a good example. The Project Zomboid challenge I'm doing right now, I'm already over 300 hours in the recordings. And I'm not even done. I'm probably like 20% of the way done. So I think this challenge is going to take me about 1,000 hours to complete when it's all said and done. So obviously that's kind of an extreme example, but the Kingdom Come challenge I did took me about 80 hours. The Galadriel I think was about 80 hours. So these things take an incredible amount of time just to record, and then you add on top of that another 100 to 150 hours just in the editing. So just based on the sheer amount of work involved in these, maybe one a month, maybe one every 1.5 months, something like that. So that's kind of the cadence that those videos will come out with. Now, I still want to do live streams, but I need to change it. It's going to be mostly testing, practice stuff, or if I get early access to games, I would love to live stream that. Editing down live streams into a let's play or other videos like a guide is really, really challenging, and it adds a huge amount of time and cost to the editing side. So most likely I'll still do live streams. I may actually do them more frequently depending on what's needed, and they're going to be testing for campaigns. It'll be campaign setup, like when I'm testing mods, seeing which ones work, seeing which ones I like to add. Practice sessions. So I did one for Project Zomboid where I just got my butt handed to me for, I don't know, 4 hours straight. Did that for about 100 hours before I finally figured it out. But yeah, something like that. And then early access gameplay, if I can get it, we'll see. I think I will be able to at some point in the near future. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But that's basically what the live streams are going to be. So I probably won't do full-on campaigns on the live stream, but those campaigns will still be available on the Let's Plays channel. It's just like I said, it's really difficult to edit those down. So I kind of need to do those offline. To help me with all this, because there's basically an incredible amount of editing that needs to be done, especially on the basic editing side, like going from a raw recording campaign to a let's play. That's going to be both my wife and Flasan. They're both helping me with editing, actually. And so that costs both time and money. And so to be able to help afford that, I'm going to look at taking on sponsorships this year so that I can help expand and grow and make sure that they get paid appropriately. So that's one thing that I will be adding to the channel. Now, I'd also like to add a couple different types of content into the mix. These will be fairly infrequent. I would say probably 3 or 4 of each per year. So an example, I'd like to do game reviews after I master the game. So I know I've done a few reviews of Bannerlord, like I did one after 4,000 hours. You get a different perspective of the game after you really understand everything about it. And so I feel like that's an interesting perspective that might help some people. It's not going to be one of those day one game reviews that people try and spit out just because they want to get the views. This is going to be hundreds or thousands of hours, and hopefully that's interesting or useful to someone. I'd also like to make the what would I change about the game videos. I did one recently for Bannerlord, and I've gotten a huge amount of feedback, both from players and other developers. So I would love to continue to do those series as I get really good at games. So I feel pretty comfortable about Kingdom Come Deliverance. I could probably do one of those now. Project Zomboid I'm getting very close to. I feel like I understand pretty much everything about the game in depth. And then CK3, I don't think I'm quite there yet. CK3 is just way too deep. But again, it's the same thing. Eventually I'd like to do these. Now, like I said, they're not going to be probably helping anybody making a buying determination, but maybe it's interesting to hear somebody's thoughts after they played a specific game for, 1 or 2,000 hours. So that's another thing. And I'd also like to do a couple videos here and there if I need to use mod lists. Project Zomboid is heavily modded. Bannerlord's always heavily modded if you want to have fun. Games like that. I think Kenshi, usually you want to have a ton of mods. So, just basic support videos like that. And then I had mentioned already that I had been contacted by some game studios on some upcoming games that have not been released yet. I can't really talk too much about it because I do have an NDA with some, and others, just out of respect, I don't want to say anything. So once I get to a point where I actually have something to talk about, or if I have a game to play, I would love to share a lot of that with you. So I plan on doing a few videos here and there based on news. When I say news, I only covering major stuff. I absolutely hate people that do those clickbait update videos like, oh, this changes everything, and it's, they fixed the clipping on an armor piece or something stupid like that. So you're never ever going to see me do those BS clickbait videos. It's only going to be major stuff. And then I also would love to do early access playtesting if and when I get access to that. I would love to make videos on that and share that with everybody, and maybe doing some comparison videos. Some games that are going to have some similar aspects to Bannerlord, and I would love to do videos comparing the two games when it's appropriate, obviously. But that's pretty much what I had in mind for the channel. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts and see do you feel like this is a good change or bad change? Are you going to get the content that you're looking for, or you're probably going to pass? You're not going to hurt my feelings. We're all adults. I get it. Not everything's for everybody. But I feel like this is how I want to approach the channel moving forward. Hopefully it works out for you guys. But let me know. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.